Hello everyone, Lady de Winter here again today, and today we are going to pin the napkins that we cut. Now, I have some tools here with me. I have a lot of straight pins, and I have this nifty little ruler. Now let me go ahead and zoom in just a tiny bit on this. I think we want to zoom, nope, that's too much. Okay, right about there. We'll leave it there. Okay, so what we're going to do is use this little ruler, and it is set for an inch. It's set for an inch, and I am going to bend my fabric over, and for this I have to stand up. I am going to move my bench and bend my fabric over. Now I can just about eyeball the 1/2 inch. As you see, that's a 1/2 inch bend. Well, maybe you can't see it, but it is a 1/2 inch bend. So what I do is I take my 1/2 inch bend and I take a pin and I pin it in place. Now a lot of people will iron this. I don't like to iron it, mainly because I don't like my iron. I don't like having to set up my board, so I don't iron it. I just kind of eyeball measure, and from there on down I'm good to go. As you see, I don't even continuously, well, my bench is in my way again. I don't even continuously measure it, because once I get the first pre-measure in, I'm kind of good with the rest. But that's not going to be the only fold now. See, here is the next thing. And I jumped the gun on that just a tad. We're going to fold it again, the same length as what this fold was, okay? We're going to fold it again, and that is our actual sewing seam, where we will actually sew the napkin down. And now if you want to see that, let me know, and I will try to set it up so that I can film that. I do not use a sewing machine for this. I truly enjoy hand sewing. Now a lot of people don't enjoy hand sewing and they use a sewing machine, and there's not a dang thing wrong with that. If you prefer sewing with a sewing machine, then that is what you should do. Now up here I'm going to do the same thing again, and this might be just a little bit, yeah, it's right, okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this corner down. Now here's the fun part. Well, without a bent pin. Without a bent pin. I did use some of these on the sewing machine. You stick it in and you stick it through and you pray you don't get your finger. So, okay, here we go. Here is another area of the edge. Now when I sew, I will take these pins in the corner out, okay? The pins in the corner will come out, just so I can sew that corner down nicely. But until then, they stay in, because that tells me what I have to sew. Now here's where it starts getting tricky, because the more pins you have in here, the more times you yourself get poked. So yeah, it gets a little bit tricky in there, yeah. But you know, hey, it's part of sewing. If you don't want to get poked by needles, then I don't recommend sewing for you. So, and that is basically how I pin my needle, my fabric down for sewing. Okay. Now, just so you can see, I've eyeballed this. That's almost a 1/2 inch. It's a little tiny bit shy, but it's almost a 1/2 inch. And that's basically a really good measure of that. So basically your napkin will turn out to be about 15 1/4 maybe. Okay, here's where it starts getting interesting, because I'm going to be leaning on the pins down here at this end. I'm not sure if you can see my hand or not. Yeah, you can. I'm going to be leaning on the pins down here so that I can reach up here and do this. Now, here's another trick. You have to take that pin out, and then you put it back in very carefully, thoughtful of your fingers, and then you can put another pin in right here to hold the seam in. Now, again, a lot of people ask me why I do not do this on the sewing machine. I enjoy hand sewing. I don't know how. I do not enjoy machine sewing because I have to drag the thing out, set it up, and it takes a couple of cords because I don't have any place with a table where there's cords, where there's a plug. So I have to run an extension cord over my stove over there, which is that direction, in order to reach the table in which I work on. Now this is my big kitchen table, and this is a new addition to our household. We've only had this a couple of years now. We used to have a little itty bitty tiny cafe table just meant for 2 people to eat at, but it really sucked when you were trying to do any craft projects because it was way too little. And I do like to do a lot of crafting. So, okay, there's 3 sides now. Again, it gets tricky here. You're gonna get poked. Just understand that right now. You're gonna get poked, mainly in the belly, because I'm kind of heavy. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we want that down just a little bit more. A little bit more. That's about right. That's about right. Okay. And then we're gonna put a needle in this corner here. Oh, that one's too short. We want a nice long needle. Here we go. And I am getting poked in the belly. It's good. The napkin has taken hold of my shirt. So, but now see, this won't happen to you because you're probably tall enough that this won't happen to you. I am a very short person. I only stand about 4'9", 4'10", 4'9", somewhere in there. I'm just a little bit shy of being dwarf height. So I am short to everything. In fact, the table is halfway up my body. So yeah, makes life a little challenging when you need to reach something, but you know, you get used to it. You get used to it. And let's get that. See, I want that in there so that when I sew this edge, I catch that. So it's a nice, good seam, nice and strong, and you don't have fabric coming out from under this edge here. So I'm gonna have to take this pin out, but I'm gonna move it down just a little bit. And here's where your sewing mat comes in handy, or your cutting mat comes in handy too. Because you can take your pins out, you can jab it into the sewing mat. It won't hurt the pin, it won't hurt the table. So I'm gonna put that one there like that. And then I am going to bend this down and over and hold it with my fingers in place. And then I'm going to put a pin in here. And one more in here. And there we go. That is how I pin a napkin. Now that is pinned all the way. What'll happen is I will tuck my knot under there and do a running stitch all the way along there. And that will hold the napkin very well. In fact, let me get one of my other napkins for you. Do I have one I can? Well, you might be able to see this. I don't know. But that is the crease on my napkin. And it's held with nothing more than a running stitch. And it works really, really well. So, and this is one of my chicken napkins because, come on, I like chicken. Everybody likes chicken. I've never met anybody yet that does not like chicken. So, but that's how you pin the napkin. And then I fold it over and lay it on top of my sewing bin for when I am ready to sew. So, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you could see the video well. Please understand I'm learning to use the tripod and the big handy cam now. So things are a little bit iffy here and there, but I will learn. Give me time. I will learn. Thanks for watching. Until next time, remember, this is Lady De Winter. You're never too old to do anything you set your mind to doing. And if you want to learn how to sew a napkin, do like I do. Watch YouTube. Bye-bye for now.